Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is North Korea is aiding Russia in World War III, right? And pretty much that's where we're at in Bible prophecy, right? Jacob's trouble is before us. The MOTB, is there behind the scenes, and you also have World War III brewing there behind the scenes. They're not calling it World War III, but all the major players are being aligned: Russia, Ukraine, America, Israel, Iran, right? And now you have, of course, China chipping in, helping Iran by supplying fighter jets, and you also have North Korea right now helping Russia, which they've been helping Russia, but I guess it's confirmed, now to me, this is news to me. I knew they was over there doing something, but it was never confirmed, but today it's been confirmed. So this is second Esdras 15. It says, second Esdras chapter 15, verse 1 says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai." It says, "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Right? So, these prophecies are written down pursuant to Ezekiel 38, which I'm going to get to, that Russia will come against America, right? Babylon the Great in the last days, and to burn her with fire and be joined with many people, right? And Russia has already been doing that in a number of ways. You have BRICS. BRICS is a way that, Russia is trying to overcome America or get around America, and basically is damaging to America. So the mindset of being against America is already there, in Russia, pretty much. Let me grab this Habakkuk, because we're here. All the things written is happening. We can see these things happening, right? It says, Habakkuk 2:1, it says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved." It says, "And the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." So the vision is the prophecies, mentioned. And now in this time, starting with our elder apostles, right, we're running with the correct message, the 100% true, and spreading the word to the whole elect, right, and basically to the world. But on this side, regarding the Israelites, only the Israelites will get the message, and repent, basically. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Right? And the mindset is that we're here at the end, right? The end has manifest pursuant to second Esdras chapter 9, starting at the first verse, measuring the time diligently in itself. Even the elder apostle Hart point the year, the hopeful deliverance of the Israelites, and basically the judgment of Esau, Edom. Right, and that's that time. Most High Yahweh is definitely judging these devils, right? Bringing turmoil to planet Earth, right? All over the world, there's uproars of the peoples, earthquakes, and the wars, rumors of wars, right? So this is just another one of those news updates regarding these wars and rumors of wars. Like I said, North Korea is confirmed to be helping Russia in the war against Ukraine, and this thing is going to spill over into World War III. So this is it's a Russian news agency. It says, "Russia to commemorate memory of North Korean soldiers for fallen cursed region." Right, so that means they died over there in battle. It says, "This was our initiative, which our Korean friends supported," the Russian foreign minister said. Right, so Russia went over there in Ukraine, and North Korea helped them. It says, "Russia and North Korea will soon honor the memory of Korean People's Army fighters who died while helping to liberate the cursed region by building a monument." Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said at a press conference following talks with his North Korean counterpart Cho Son-hu and Won San. Okay, so that happened today, July 12th. It says we have such plans. This was our initiative, which our Korean friends supported. So they got plans. They still got plans regarding the war that's taking place. Says Lavrov said. Says we will build a monument. We also intend to commemorate our combat brotherhood during World War II, a great patriotic war. He added. Says we expect these projects to take concrete shape and begin soon. The minister concluded. Right, we have North Korea reaffirms unambiguous. Let me grab this real quick.
Unambiguous.
Right, unambiguous. It says not open to more than one not open to more than one interpretation. It says a single clearly defined meaning. All right. So it says North Korea confirms unambiguous support for all special op goals, Lavrov. So North Korea has reaffirmed that we're going to help you do everything in the war. Basically, it says in turn, right. And like I said, this is posted July 12th today. Right. Today is July 12th. It's currently 10:07 over here. It says in turn, we once again express our sincere gratitude for the contribution of Korean People's Army servicemen to the successful liberation of the Kursk region from Ukrainian Nazis. I don't know, that word we can say it, but whatever it says, and foreign mercenaries, the Russian foreign minister added. So just these titles, it says Russia supports North Korea in situation around Korean Peninsula. So that's between North Korea and South Korea. They got some things going on, and Russia is saying, okay, and we support you in your area, So the ties are there. It says North Korea. Yep, read that. Yeah, so that happened today, this meeting. It says Kim Jong-un received Lavrov, Russian foreign minister. It says the Russian foreign minister also conveyed greetings from Russian President Vladimir Putin to Kim. Right, so that's the point. North Korea and Russia are, strengthening their ties for the great war that's about to happen. So this thing is intensifying. It's getting bigger and bigger. And that's what the Lord Yahweh said will happen. Right. This is not some small thing. This is not an isolated incident. Right. You don't have, just Russia and Ukraine. You have things happening around that. You have Israel attacking Iran, and Russia and China have something to say about it. And you have China supporting Iran and saying, we'll give you the fighter jets. Then you have Russia and Ukraine, and then North Korea saying we'll help you with that. Right. So you have a lot of things happening behind the scenes. You still got Turkey. Turkey is butting heads with Israel. Pretty soon, they can go ahead and say who they with. All these things will begin to happen. Right. Ezekiel 38:1 says, this is another message that came to me from the Lord Yahweh. It says, son of man, this is the NLT, son of man, turn and face Gog, the land of Magog. Right. So it's just talking about Russia. It says the prince who rules over the nations of Meshach and Tubal and prophesy against him. Right, pretty much going into that area of Turkey, right? Turkey. It says, give him this message from the sovereign Lord Yahweh, Gog, I am your enemy, right? Don't get it twisted. These Russians are Edomites, right? But the Lord Yahweh can use whoever he wants to use. It says in scriptures that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and he turneth it whithersoever he will, right? It says, I will turn you around and put hooks into your jaws to lead you out with your whole army, your horses and chariots and full armor and a great horde armed with shields and swords. So, Russia is going to build up their military power from their fall, during the Soviet Union, right? They fell, the USSR. They fell, right? Kind of went into like a docile state, but the Most High has built them back up for this last war. It says Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya, which you got the African continent there. Different people there. It says, will join you too with all their weapons. It says Gomer is Germany, and all its armies will also join you, along with armies of Beth Togarmah from the distant north and many others. So that's up in that region, Turkey, right? And then it says and many others. So, this prophecy has been fulfilled. So this is something to look forward. When it says many others, we're looking who else is joining with Russia in these last days, right? That will come against Babylon the Great. North Korea is one of those. It says, get ready, be prepared, keep all the armies around you mobilized and take command of them. And that's pretty much what's happening. Now they say this BRICS thing is not a military agreement between themselves, but at the same time, they are forming military treaties amongst themselves, and it just so happened that all of them are in BRICS. So it kind of aligns, and they're probably talking about these things, because right now this is the time of war. Most High Yahweh said there's a time and place for everything, and we're in a time of war, right? Wars, rumors of wars. It says a long time from now, you will be called into action. In the distant future, you will swoop down on the land of Israel, which will be enjoying peace after recovering from war and after its people have returned from many lands to the mountains of Israel. Right. So you see Israel, they're on a ceasefire. They're also off a ceasefire. So during that time, whenever that time may be, Russia is gonna go ahead and move in. Even what they call now, they just struck Iran. Right now, Trump said it's peacetime, but what they did was they went in there, they destroyed something that Iran had. So you could say they won. They said they destroyed whatever they want to destroy, the nuclear enrichment facilities, right? So that could be a time where, okay, now Russia strikes back, but we just got to wait and watch. But it will happen, right? Because it's faithful and true. It's just written down. It says, you and all your allies, a vast and awesome army, will roll down on them like a storm and cover the land like a cloud. This is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh Bashmi says. At that time, evil thoughts will come into your mind, and you will devise a wicked scheme. Right now, that wicked scheme will ultimately be in pushing the button, right? Nuking Israel and America. It says, you will say Israel is an unprotected land filled with unwalled villages. I will march against her and destroy these people who live in such confidence. Right. So that's pretty much, what it boils down to. And of course, getting to the nuclear missiles, Isaiah 9 and 5 says, I got it in the KJV. I mean, NLT sounds good. It says Isaiah 9 and 5, NLT, the boots of the warrior and the uniform blood stained by war will all be burned. They will be fuel for the fire. Okay, so let me get in the KJV. Sounds a little better. It says Isaiah 9 and 5, it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, right? We understand that the Most High Yahweh has created these missiles, and they're going to be shut off in these last days, right? And that's what's going to make it America a lake of fire, right? Because Russia will come against Babylon, which is America, and the land of Israel, and this World War III. This is Isaiah 54:16. It says, behold, I have created a smith that blows the coals in the fire and that bring forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy it. So that instrument is talking about those nuclear missiles, right? You get Joel, a little bit of Joel. It was chapter 2. Right, Joel chapter 2, verse 1. It says a terrible visitation. So this is talking about the missiles, right? So these things are being prepared, and Russia, is watching what's happening in the world. Like I said, that the table has been set, the different allies are being put together, right? People are picking sides. It says Joel 2 and 1, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Say a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Right, because after this war, which would be World War III, and Yahweh returns, and gather the nations, the nations shall not learn war anymore, right? Because they will be subjected to the Israelites, right? And we're gonna burn up all their weapons. All right, so this is going to be the last war. It says, and this right here is going into the nuclear missiles. It says a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burning. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yet and nothing shall escape them. Right, so nothing will escape these nuclear missiles. Once they hit, you can, it can be wherever, lush land, like America, some areas look better than others. You got nice trees and whatnot. But after that, those missiles hit, it's going to be a desolate wilderness, right? It says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses and as horsemen. So they shall not, so shall they run. It says like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. It says, before their face the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. It says, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the walls like men of war, and they shall mark everyone on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Right, so there's no defense that can stop these things down or shoot them down, you know. Um, and they're all going to be shot. You know, Russia itself got like 5,000 nuclear missiles, and you know all those things are going to be shot over here to America. You know, and also the land of Israel. And it says they should not, you know, they're not going to thrust one another. They're not going to break their ranks. It says they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. It says the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yeah, because you know, the missile, the smoke, right, and all of that. You know, so that's pretty much it. Like I said in the news, Revelations 11 and 14 says, Revelations 11 and 14, the second war was past, and behold, the third war coming quickly, right? And we understand we had World War One, World War Two. So guess what? World War Three will happen, right? And it is close, it is near, right? And you know, like I said, the size and everything are being picked. So you know, Lord willing, you edify from the lesson. I'll say shalom to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.